In this Premiere tutorial, I'd like to talk about basic editing as well as using some of the tools. I have a project open and I'd like to get a sequence started. The easiest way to do that is to grab one of the videos that you plan to work with and drag it into the timeline. That's going to set the time base as well as the size frame that you're going to be working with. The sequence names itself based on the video you dragged in, so make sure you change that. As I'm starting a project, I like to call these rough cut, as well as a date. You can also put the title of the film in here if you like. Once I make the sequence, I don't need this video in here anymore. When you edit, you can select the video, bring it to the timeline, and begin cutting it up. I don't like to work this way. I prefer to use the source window. If you double-click your video, it opens into the source window. That way you can set where you want your video to begin, setting an end point with the letter I, as well as when you want your video to end, hitting the letter O. Select a point on your timeline. I'm going to go at the beginning and then hit the comma key, and that will bring the audio and video onto the timeline. You can target what tracks you want the audio video to be dropped on. Close these, but instead highlight video 2 as well as audio 2, comma. The video will go to those tracks. If you only want the video from the in out, you can grab this icon here and drag it down. That will only be the video. The same thing goes for the audio. This audio icon, grab it, and you'll only pull the audio. With cutting, you have basic trim tools. Your trim tool turns to red. You can trim the heads, you can trim the tails. These white little triangles in the corners tell you that there's no more video. The same thing goes for the tails. If I pull it out as far as it can go, little white triangles appear in the corner. I use two more trim tools. One is called the Ripple Edit Delete. So let's say I want to make my cut approximately here. I can trim that up, but I leave a gap. I'm going to do an undo. If I switch to this tool here, the Ripple Edit tool, or hit the letter B, my trim tool turns yellow. When I make the cut, it closes the gap. I'm going to hit the letter V, V as in Victor, to go back to the selection tool. I prefer to use a keyboard shortcut to do the same thing. So rather than hit the letter B, I'm going to hold in Command, turn the trim tool from red to yellow, and I have my Ripple Edit Delete. Underneath the Ripple Edit is the razor tool. With the razor blade or the letter C, I can make cuts wherever I choose. If I make a cut here and a cut here, go back to the letter V, select that area and delete it, I still have a gap. One way I can close that gap, select the area I want to delete, hold in Option, hit Delete, and the gap closes. One of my favorite editing tools are the letters Q and W, or top and tail. If I move the selection bar there and hit the letter Q, everything to the left is deleted. If I want my video to end here, I can hit the letter W, instant delete. If I go to my Ripple Edit tool, hold in the mouse, I have something called the Rolling Edit tool. It's also a type of trim, and this is especially useful when doing L cuts and J cuts. I'm going to unlink these. I'm going to use the Rolling Edit tool. I could have my video come in sooner without affecting my audio, or vice versa. I can have my audio come in early as my video is still playing. These are called L cuts because that's the shape that they look like, and this is called a J cut. Again, I prefer the keyboard modifiers to do the same action. If I want to swap this video with this one, the hard way to do that is to move this over, grab these, move them in place, grab these, and connect them. The easier way is to hold in Command and just slide this over. Other tools you may want to Google and learn a little bit more, the Slip tool and the Slide tool. When we're on a slide, we're on top of it. But in a slip, we are slipping under. In this case, we're referring to the video. So if I use the slip tool, I'm actually sliding the video under the other videos. However, if I change that to the slide tool, I'm sliding the video over my pre-existing videos. And that should be enough to get you started on basic editing.